Okay, so what we want to do is we're still building our Twitch chat client, right? Or no, we're still building our Twitch chat bot. And what we want to do today is write the token to the application cache, I believe. So we'll probably do this first and then maybe explore refreshing tokens. Well, that was interesting. And then we can refactor our auth package to live somewhere inside of here. And then rename the package to match Git repo. So these are like small things, but I want to try to do everything on stream just so that way, again, you can live vicariously through my bad code and my coding mistakes. So I'll make mistakes so that way you can join in on the fun, I guess. Let's get started. So we get the authorization codes. And what I realize is that we actually don't ever actually exchange for a token, right? We just kind of say get the auth codes and we never actually call the exchange function. So where is our function here? So start local auth server, create state string, create auth exchange. So we say navigate to auth URL. That launches this down here where we then wait. Okay, so once we receive the authorization codes, then what we'll want to do is exchange for a token and let's see here, insert ad dot exchange for token, and this will give us a token exchange response pointer or an error. And what we can do is we check that error. So we'll say if error does not equal nil, then we can return. Oh no, there's no return from receive authorization codes. Interesting. So we actually don't ever know if it will fail. Other than like communicating that to the client, and then I think we fail right away. No, or does this like just continue to run? I think this shuts down if it fails. So maybe what we could do is inside auth data, we can have a token value in there, right? And maybe we can listen for that update to happen. So once it gets up, or maybe we can have a function that will update it, store it. There you go, auth URL, wait, and then it doesn't, and then we can check it after this wait. So if it doesn't exist, then it crashes. I like that idea. Okay. So we can actually remove some of this. And then come back up down here. No, we want to go up to auth data and we want to put token exchange response right in here, and we'll call it a pointer to the token exchange response. Then we'll go down and we can, I feel like if it's all within this type of thing, we could just set it in here, the token exchange response. But I guess we should catch whether or not there is an error and then like throw an error. Yeah, let's do it up here. All right, so we do want this ter error. Actually, let's just set it down here. So, and then we'll say ad dot token exchange response is equal to ter. There we go. And I'll come up here. I'll just be null for now. If error does not equal nil, that means that the token failed to respond correctly, and we should blow up fatal F. Token exchange failed, giving up. Throw an error there, great. I think like the convention is to start with like lowercase. There we go. Okay, so token exchange failed, giving up, and then it prints out the error. And then if we come back up here, maybe it's down here, receive authorization codes. We just did that, right? Yeah, okay. So in this wait group, what we could then do is say 80.token exchange response. And let's check if it's nil. If equals nil, I can throw an error here, return nil, format.printf. Nope, we want error f. Token exchange response failure. V and error. Oh, there's no error, it just fails. Okay. That makes sense to me. And then, okay, once we have the token exchange response, we'll want to write it to disk. So then what we could say is func write token to disk. And let's pass in a tur, which would be a pointer to token exchange response. And we need to find where on disk that is. So if I recall correctly, there is a way to get the home directory. I think it's an os.home, user home directory. Yep. Turn the string in an error. So I assume that we'll also need an error in here. So that way we'd say home, oh, of course I did that. Why did I do that? I want to do this. There we go. Okay. If error does not equal nil, return format.errorf could not find the home directory for the user. And then what we want to do is we want to say, I hope home prints out like the fully qualified path, right? It should. Shift K. Includes the current user's home directory. On Unix, including macOS, it returns the home environment variable. On Windows, it returns user profile. On Plan 9, what is Plan 9? It returns the home environment variable. Plan 9 sounds interesting. It sounds like a government program or something, right? So let's see. Now that we have the home directory, what we want to do is say os.makedir all. And I believe there is a ls home slash, and then there's like a .config. Wait, why did I do that? It's a .config, yeah. And then we can like put in our own directory. So I think there's like a make, they're all, and this like succeeds even if it already exists. Make directory all creates a directory named path along with any unnecessary parents. Returns nil or else returns an error. The permission bits before are used. The path is already a directory. Make dir all does nothing and returns nil. Perfect. That's what we want. Do I need any permission bits? Probably. Anyways, make sure all, so we'll say, was it file path dot join, and then here we'll put in home dot config, and then we will put in Noe Twitch, Noe dev Twitch bot. That's readable, I hope. Great. So now that we have Noe dev Twitch bot, and then I believe for permissions, it's os.per I wonder if we just leave that blank if it will still work. Cannot use nil as file mode. Oh, we need fs.file mode. fs.file mode dot OS file mode for directory. I don't know this off the top of my head. I thought it was like 7. That's what I always use, and then it seems to let me do whatever I want with it. Should probably learn this. Yeah, that one. Cheating. Stop file mode is equal to mode. What is file mode for? File mode. There we go. They usually have an example here. File mode directory all 660. So I think it goes like read, write, execute. So 750. File mode bit definition. Let's see what this is. Structured file mode bits. Permission to read the file, permission to write, change the file, permission to execute the file run as a program. So read, write, execute, right? And then I think it goes user, group, and then everybody. So this might be the group permission. Well, let's try it and see if it fails. So refresh access tokens. No, that's not what we wanted to do. Where were we? Back here. Okay, yes. So make directory all. If error does not equal nil. I know there's like a smaller way to do this where you do it all in one line. I think it's like, do something like error does not equal nil and something in there, but I don't remember off the top of my head. If error does not equal nil, we'll say turn format dot error f could not create the configuration directory for Noe dev Twitch bot. Great. And then at the bottom we'll say return nil. And then we need to create a file within that directory. So we should probably refactor this, say v word. Yank all this out, or actually cut it, and then on a new line, paste it, and insert the name of this, which is like config directory. Nice. And then in here, put in config directory. Cool. All right, so now that we have the config directory, now we want to do is write to it with the file. So I think it's like we want to write the JSON to it. So I think we need to marshal or unmarshal the struct to JSON, put it as a string, then write it to the file. So back to the chase, we have config directory, make directory all, so we make the directory, and then what I want to do is config file, and we can call this config token.json, because that's what it is. Let's call it, well, maybe let's call it token file, right? Because we might have a config later on that says like, hey, chatbot, do this thing, and have a bunch of settings for it that we set through the command line. So I think we want to do os.create. Now creates or truncates the named file. If the file already exists, it is truncated. If the file does not exist, it's created with mode 666 before umask, If successful, methods on the return file can be used for I/O. The associated file descriptor has mode. I guess we'll just be clueless. And then we could say file path dot join, and we could say config directory and token file. Great. And then file. I bet it's error. It's always error, right, with these? Shift K. Yeah, it's an error. So then if we say file dot writer, ooh, there we go. Write string. So if I can get the string from the JSON, from the struct, then I can write straight to this with the string. Okay. Okay. That seems reasonable. So if I come back to here, to JSON dot Marshall. Yeah, Marshall returns the JSON encoding of V, and I can just call write and write to the file, and then we can check that it actually exists on file. Okay, okay, okay. So Marshall, we'll say ter. And then once we do that, we should get the bytes. So we'll say bytes error. And then we'll say if error. Ooh, we have two of these right here. It's not equal nil. Return format.error_f could not create the token.json file at location %s, and then we'll put the error here. So then we can say comma %s would be file path.join, and then this is config directory, and then token file, and then here we could say error. Nice. Okay. And then down here in the bytes, ink, paste, change it between the parentheses, if, not if, what am I doing? Marshalling. Could not marshal the JSON file to a bytes. There we go. And then we will delete to the end, and we will put in error. Okay, great. And then let's do writing to the disk. So file dot write. Write writes length b bytes from b to the file. It returns the number of bytes written in an error. If any write returns a non-nil error when n does not equal length of b, something happens. Okay, and I believe this will just overwrite everything since you create a new file every single time. So I can just do b. Great. And then what does write do again? Returns the number of bits written in an error. So I think we can come back here and say, actually, could we just throw in a defer here, defer f.close? So that way we know if it will fail. And then do we also have to flush f.flush? No. Yeah, no method flush. Okay. I assume write will automatically flush it. Okay. Let's hope my assumptions are right. So we'll say comma error this. And then I think what we could do is just return the error here because it's like the last thing. So we can say like, and then if it fails, it'll just give us the writing error, and we can hope that we can find it easily. Okay, so write the token to the disk. Okay, so now I want to say write token to disk, and then we'll pass in the 80.token exchange response. And we'll throw in the error checking here. So error equal this. If error does not equal nil, return error. Nil, comma, error. Since everything's nicely formatted, I'm not going to worry about formatting it here. Let's try it, right? So what we could do is create a new tab. Oh, we already have one open. Look at that. Go run this. Oh, that's strange. Did that just cancel on me? For no reason? Or did that work? I'm going to check off screen whether that worked. So I'll say ls. Okay, something goofy happens here because nothing got created in my config file, right? So if I say ls.config, you can see that there's no config store. Wait a minute. I didn't put it in here, did I? No, I don't know what that's for. Okay, so there's no config there. So something failed along the way, but we do have a code. I wonder if it just like failed to do the thing again, right? So if I do, maybe because I'm already authenticated or already granted permission. Let's try that one more time, just for fun. Go run this. Twitch, redirects, and then it exits real quick. Huh. All right, let's try that one more time. Go run this. Network. Oh, come on. One more time. Did that just finish and not fail in any possible way? Huh. Come back here. What did we do? Did we even start the exchange for token? Yes. You know what? We are logging all these errors and we don't do anything with them because I think what happens is we're hitting this token exchange response failure and we're just returning it. But then like where we go to where we actually call this, what is going on? Go to the reference. We never do anything with it. So we should do error equals, what's the other one that creates? Oh, auth data, that's right. Adds, all right. Actually, to do nothing with that, we can just do that. And then we'll say if error does not equal nil, format fprint, not fprint, I just want printf, don't I? Printf. All right, let's try this again. Token exchange response failure, okay. And where is this token exchange response failure coming from? Right here, so it never actually gets written back to the object, is that what I'm seeing? So if I come down here, exchange for token, and then in exchange for token, I'm setting the token exchange response to this, which is a pointer. Oh my. Shouldn't we be getting this like log fatal F happening? Could not catch the bandage. Oh, you know what? This never runs because the server's already shut down by this point. Oh, no, 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 no. Okay. So what I need to do is I actually need to delete this, take that, wait, take all of this, rip it out and paste it here. Okay, let's try that again. What? Did that really just succeed without like any issues? Did my token get created? CD, actually I'll show you this part. Let's do it in a new tab, cd.config. Ooh, it did get created. Okay. Silly mistakes. There we go. Let me do this not on stream. Access token is blank, expires in is blank, refresh token is blank, scope is null, token type is blank. Great. So something happened in the token exchange. Still created it. It's just everything is blank. Oh, that's frustrating. Why is it all blank? I guess that's the next question. So we did get our token. We wrote to the buffer, then we flushed it, then we say exchange for token, and it never said that it failed and it's giving up. It just kind of failed. And then the server shut down. And when we look at the exchange for the token, I believe these are still getting called in. They should be at least, right? Because otherwise it would throw the error. Huh. Could not create a request. So it's generating these errors and returning them. It's just for some reason not doing the thing. I don't think this needs to be like a pointer to a pointer, right? So I wonder if, okay, if I could just like log the expires in. So if I say format.print f expires in %d, and then we say ter.expires in. Let's try that and see if it actually, we just get anything. What? We just get anything back. Okay, so something is getting goofy in the unmarshalling. I wonder if I could print out the bytes. Rename to value. And then I'll obviously have to do that in a different screen because I don't want anybody to have my bytes. My bytes. Okay, we are getting something back. Maybe it's the way that I'm unmarshalling it. So I have up here the JSON values. Let me just check. JSON unmarshal Golang. Example custom JSON. Pointer to the zoo, which is that. Yeah. And what's the zoo object? The zoo type. I don't see it anywhere in here. That's text marshaller. Yeah, JSON. Oh, wait a minute. No, I do it with the, and then, huh. Wonder if I should try to, yeah, there we go. io.readAll. Can I cast it to a string? Okay, let me check it over here. Oh, there we go. It says I'm missing the client ID. That's the issue. So I should probably also have status and message in there. What was it, status and message? Yeah, it was status and message. So, say status string JSON colon status message string JSON colon message. And you know what it is no, that should be working. And then if we go down, token exchange, response failure, down here, right? Nope, further down. Exchange for token. Where do I write these bytes? There they are. So delete word. So I'll say if ter.status, which is a number value, right? Yeah. Does not equal 200. I just realized status is unmarshalling wrong. Change this to 64. Ter.message. Okay. And then it says it can't read the client ID, which I'm getting from here. Let me make sure it's set on, it should be set, right? Like, I don't see why it wouldn't be. If I do get environment, am I calling environment anywhere? Yeah. Twitch client ID, environment not set. So it should be set because I'm calling it down. I'm pointing at my screen like you can see me. I'm calling it when I set up auth data down here, right? So I say client ID is equal to this. So that must be in my request. So if I go back to message, where is that? Printf expires in. I'll just change this to error message so that way it's actually readable. And if we come up here, add.client ID. So it should be set. I wonder if I can maybe echo out the data to see if that makes sense. Like, is the errors that I'm seeing, so if I do like format.printf, and I say data.encode, that should just be a string, right? And then if I run it over here where nobody can see me, so go run. Yeah, so it has a client ID set. That's wild. And the error message is still missing client ID. Maybe it has to do with the way that we formatted this request. So my brief editor's note, this took an embarrassingly long time to resolve. So rather than make you live through this, and I don't want to live through it again, I'm just going to fast forward through this part. Enjoy. And they call form data.encode. I wonder if I just did that. back, insert this, insert this. All right, paste. Insert that, X, and that, X, append that, back, insert that, colon, three words, be 4 words for the next one. All right. Nope. Change around word. Oops. Let's try this. All right, running it again. Yeah, nothing should pop up. Okay. Missing client ID. Again, what is going on here? Form data.encode. I'm doing data.encode. Yeah, that should do it. No error message. Really? Why? Why? Why did that work now? That's wild. Okay. It had to do with the way that I was encoding my data. Or no, I set up URL.values. Apparently when I was doing data.set, something wasn't getting set in the string. Oh my God. I can't believe that worked. I cannot believe that worked. That was the silliest thing. Holy cow. Oh, okay. So now that we know that it's got to look like this, we should be good to go. I think we're checking if the message is nil, but really what we want to do is check if the token exchange read body on Marshall. So the status did equal 200, I assumed, but maybe we should just check if the message does not equal this. Okay, let's see if we can get another error to pop. Yeah, no error pops. Great. Wow, that was annoying. Okay, and then I can confirm through my own testing that it did write it to disk. Yeah, it's written to disk. So we are good there. Wow, I totally had a different direction for tonight's stream, but here we are. Okay, so we can close these windows, close these. That was frustrating. That was so frustrating. Oh, good golly. Okay. So we now have the token written to disk. We send it in a post request, get it back, blah, 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 write it to disk. Where do we leave off? We were up here and we wrote the token to disk, and then I think we want to test whether or not our token is still valid. So right now, when you return a value, you get an expires in. And what time until the code is no longer valid? I assume that's in seconds. It was 1800 seconds to minutes. 30 minutes. So the token's only valid for 30 minutes. So then what we probably want to do is do something where we get the token divided by 2 and then refresh it, but we can worry about that later. Let's go back to refreshing token. So, God, that was wild. I can't believe that it took so long. Write the user token to the application cache. That is done. So now we will need to refresh the token or append it to like future requests. So that's the token exchange response, which is then being written to disk down here somewhere. It's fine. Okay, the lifetime of an access token depends on how you acquired the token. When you get a token, the expires in field indicates how long in seconds, that answers that, the token is valid for. When a token expires, it becomes invalid. If you call a Twitch API with an invalid token, the request returns 401 unauthorized. The request turns. Okay, although you could use the expires in value to proactively get a new token before the token expires, you're discouraged from using this approach because tokens become invalid for a number of reasons. Aha. So see, instead Twitch recommends that apps reactively respond to HTTP status code 401 unauthorized. The only access tokens that apps can refresh without requesting user consent are user access tokens created using the code grant flow, which I think is the flow that we just ran through, right? Yeah, that's the code grant flow. Wonderful. When you get a user access token using the authorization code grant flow, you also get a refresh token. That's me. Generally, refresh tokens are used to extend the lifetime of a given authorization. Your app uses the refresh token to get a new access token after receiving 401 unauthorized response. Refresh token to get a new access token. You cannot refresh app access tokens. Yes, we have a user access token. The following example shows a JSON object that the token endpoint returns. The object includes an access token and a refresh token. Most safely store both the access token and the refresh token. I think they're safe enough. How to use a refresh token. Refresh a user access token. Actually, now I'm kind of curious like what they look like on disk, but I don't want to do it right now. Okay. To refresh a user access token, send an HTTP post request to blah, 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 blah. The following table lists the Oh, this is easy, right? List the www form URL and components that you pass in the body of the request. So you have your app's client ID, the client secret, the grant type, which is the refresh token, and then the refresh token. Ooh, okay, so we already do that here. Maybe we could just swap these and say like is refreshing or something, and then try to read it from disk. That'd probably work. What is this? Equal. I wonder if this would work if I used a pointer. Let's try it real quick. Yeah, it works with a pointer. Great. Okay, so then what I could say is data is equal to this type, which is URL.values. So we'll say var data URL.values. Then we'll come down here, change that. And we'll say it's nil because this is going to be a pointer. And then is refresh. That's a bool. So I think what we could do is, actually, you know what we could do? We could just leave that as a default. And then if it's not that, we could say if is refresh. Yank. Paste. Get that out of there. And then it's usually the same values, right? So client ID, client secret. Grant type would be refresh token. And then this would be refresh token. And the value would have to come from somewhere. I wonder if we can write like a real quick like get refresh token value in there. So if we say like func get refresh token returns a string or an error, and then the, what am I doing? So for the refresh token, what we could do is go to that place on disk that we know of, which would be token.json. So here we should probably say, oh my, let's cut all that and then come over here and say func get home directory. And that can error, and otherwise do this. Oh no, we don't want get home directory. We want to get token file. Turn, and then okay. os.create, and then we can say get token file. Oh, we need to put that somewhere else. Okay. Oops. V in between these, copy token file error, paste if error nil, return error, back token file, assignment mismatch. Can I use filepath.join? Oh my, does this return an error as well? No, but, oh, okay, I see. String, error, and then change word nil, there we go. Whew, all that for this. And then we can say, oh, okay. And then what were we doing? We wanted the write to disk. Nope. Write token to disk. Receive authorization codes. Somewhere down here, right? Oh, that's right. We were doing the refresh token. There we go. Okay. So now I wanted to get the refresh token, so then we could say os.file. There's like a read file, right? Yeah. Read file reads the name file and returns the content successful call. So then we say read file, and then we say get token word token file error get token file. If error does not equal nil, return error. Okay, and then we'll in the read file we'll pass in the token file, and then that returns bytes, right? Yeah, byte and an error. So we'll say bytes error, and we could say if error inc paste back change word format dot errf token file unable to be read, and then we'll throw in our error. And then for bytes we could say json dot marshal, no, unmarshal. Yeah, there we go. So the bytes, and then we need to throw in the token exchange request response, right? Because we write that to disk at some point. So we'll say tur this, and then we'll insert tur here. Then we can say return tur dot refresh token nil. Although I guess this does return an error, so we should do this, and then hopefully that all works. Okay, and then I think we need to do exchange for token, and then this will be false. Yeah, I think we're set, right? So if got past the pointer. Got a past pointer. Okay. Okay. So if we get the refresh token, or we say is refresh, we should be able to come in here and say get refresh token. Oh, that returns an error. Oh my god. Okay, get refresh token. Token, I guess refresh token error is equal to this. If error does not equal nil, what we could do is we could say if error does not equal nil, return nil error, and then we'd say refresh token. Ooh, first try. I hope it works. Okay. So that should be the exact same request. You just change a few parameters and then you get it back. Okay, if the request succeeds, the response contains the new access token, a refresh token, which you already have, and scopes associated with the new grant. Because refresh tokens may change, you should safely store the new refresh tokens used the next time. I wonder if token type is stored in my thing. So if I say cat config noedev twitchbot token.json, access token expires in refresh token scope token type bearer. Yeah, it's stored there. Cool. Great. So then we go back to just storing the token as we had it. This is awesome. Okay. Exchange for token. Great. Great. Okay, can a refresh token become invalid? Yes, refresh tokens can become invalid. Refresh tokens like access tokens become invalid if the user changes their password. It disconnects your app. Most refresh tokens do not expire, but refresh tokens generated by public client type will expire 30 days after they are generated, which will invalidate the refresh token. Most applications are set to confidential client type, which is us, I believe, of which the refresh tokens do not have an expiration time. That's terrifying. A refresh request can fail with HTTP SAS code 401 unauthorized if the refresh token is no longer valid. If the refresh fails, the application should reprompt the end user for consent using the authorization code grant flow or OIDC. So essentially we would have to reprompt for the authorization code grant flow if we get a status code of 401. Okay. Valid 50 access, you can try to create the 51st request fails. Okay, at any given point in time, the maximum number of valid access tokens that a refresh token can be associated with is 50. If a refresh token has 50 valid access tokens associated with it and you try to create the 51st, the request fails. This limit might become an issue if multiple threads sharing the same authorization try to simultaneously refresh the access token. In this case, it's possible that the refresh request may fail for some of the threads after the refresh token reaches the 50th access token limit. Okay, I don't think this is going to bother us right now, so let's not worry about it. So now that we have our token and we have a way to refresh it, what is next? I think this works. Refactor all of auth to a package inside this package, rename package to match to the get repo. That would be cool. God, this is a lot. Let me see if maybe there's something that we need to do with the chatbot first, because I would like to send and receive messages and send and receive whispers, right? So, hello world, hey guys, okay. Sending chat messages, what about receiving them? Receiving chat messages. Event subs, channel chat messages. Event subscription lets you receive standard chat messages from a specific chat channel using the chat bot. Using the bot account specified in user ID. The user ID will have to be the bot you authorized with earlier. Create the sub event subscriptions like this. So, okay, this creates a subscription, which we then can use as a webhook. What if we're using WebSockets? Handling WebSocket events. Oh, this is where it comes. Welcome message. Ooh, when you connect to Twitch replies with a welcome message. The message type field is set to session welcome. Used when subscribing to events. Important, by default, you have 10 seconds from the time you receive the welcome message to subscribe to an event, unless otherwise specified when connecting. If you don't subscribe within this time frame, the server closes the connection. The following example shows the text data frame for a welcome message. For a description of the field, see WebSocket reference. Okay, so session welcome. I think I may be confused about what event sub does. Event sub subscriptions let your application listen for events that happen on Twitch. When an event occurs for one of your subscriptions, Twitch sends you a notification. For example, you can receive a notification when a broadcaster goes online. That'd be me. A broadcaster gets a new follower. A broadcaster gets a new subscriber. A user cheered. That's them. A user redeemed channel points. Twitch supports the following transport methods: webhook, WebSocket, conduits. What is a chatbot? Okay. Cloud installed chat clients. This is an installed cloud installed chat bot, right? Yeah. Host on the end user system, yada, yada, yada. Twitch chat has 4 limits to take into consideration. Twitch API rates, current, okay, verified bots. Okay, authenticating, there we go. After registering your bot and getting a client ID, you can generate an access token, which is what I did. You can either use a user access token, which I have, or an app access token, which I don't have, depending on what type of chatbot you are making for information about access tokens. And okay, so we have the token. After determining what type of access token to use and what scopes are required, you can get a token in a number of ways, including getting it programmatically, done, using the Twitch CLI. I should have probably done that to get a token. I spent 3 days doing this. I probably should have just done that. Okay, if you need a token for testing chat functionality, you can use the Twitch CLI to generate a user access token. Okay, and then here we go. User read, user write. Cool. Installed. User read chat, user write chat. Setting up event sub subscriptions. Okay, making the subscription. This looks like I'm going to have to read this for like a few days. Let's see here. Before making your subscription, you'll have to decide what event sub-transport you'd like to use. The options Twitch currently provides is WebSockets and webhooks. The WebSocket transport sends event sub-events to you over WebSockets, a protocol designed for persistent client-server communication within web browsers. Receiving event sub-events via WebSockets is the best option when a chatbot is hosted on the end user's system, such as the case of chat clients and installed chatbots. You can only subscribe to events over WebSockets transport using a user access token. Okay. The webhook transport sends event sub-events to your public HTTP server via a webhook. Receiving event sub-events via webhooks is the best option when a chatbot is hosted off of the end user's system. Ooh, such as in the case of cloud chatbot. So really we could like develop this chatbot and deploy it to Cloud Run. That would be cool. I would like that. You can only subscribe to events over webhook transport using an app access token. Okay, for more information on handling WebSocket events, so I should probably look at this. If I come here, for webhook method, what about a WebSocket method? Okay. Subscriptions, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Conduit. I have no idea what a conduit is. If you use conduits, what are conduits? Okay, so if I have like multiple places that receive it, we could use a conduit. Got it. Okay, if you use WebSockets to receive events, the request must specify blah, 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 blah. Okay, subscriptions type would be, and I assume that this would tell me where I could subscribe my bot to, right? So like, I feel like I would need to know where I'm subscribing to. This is interesting. This is going to have to take me probably a while to read to figure out just where I'm sending these messages to. Because this says like, hey, let's send the chat message. So we'll say Helix chat messages, authorization. That's the header, client ID, content type, broadcaster ID. Oh, so I need to know my broadcaster ID. Huh. Receiving chat messages. Event subs. Okay, so here I create the subscription, client ID, application ID, chat message, broadcaster user ID. Where am I getting this broadcaster user ID and then my user ID? This is interesting. I will have to read on this before we do another one, but I am super happy that we got tokens like working, right? And I think like we're probably not done with auth, but we'll figure it out when we get there. Oh, example chatbot, look at this. Okay, set up and run the code. I keep wanting to log offline, and then as soon as I come in here and I see something, I'm like, ooh, let me read this. Change me to the chat channel's user ID. This is the user ID of the channel that the bot will join and listen to chat messages of. So that would be my user ID. This is the user ID of the chatbot. Okay, so I need to figure out the chatbot user ID and then need scopes user bot, user read chat, user write chat. Okay, so I'll need to add this to my scopes and then do some things in here to actually set up the subscription. And listen, okay, so get auth, start WebSocket client, so new WebSocket. Token is not valid. OAuth validate return status token. Okay. That's cool. So maybe like just validate my access token before I send messages and stuff. Because it only lasts a half hour, so I feel like it would need to like refresh. Oh, look at that. Failed to send chat message. So there's probably a point when I would need to refresh it. Okay. Huh. Well, this has been fun. Thanks for watching. To all my 0 viewers out there. I am super glad that we got this working. So I'm going to log off now because it is quite late for me. And yeah, I'll see you next time when I start exploring this some more. Bye.